Okay, we have a bad I'm getting
Very passive game. Probably going to use a lot of meds to do that. It is certainly a viable one placing-wise, but we have seen how important the kills are, and they're not really going to be involved in any of those kills for quite some time if that's the way they're choosing to play the game. So we'll see how that works out for them in the end. I feel like we're going to have an absolute bloodbath in just a few moments here, Keith. Honestly, there's so many teams on top of each other.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a show, unlike that Conor McGregor fight. Nostalgia want to lead the fight. They want to be the ones to initiate it, it seems. But they're not really clearing this building, are they? They're being a little questionable about it. Poking in and out, maybe trying to bait a response, Scriv. And unexpected. They're tucked away. Grenades going out. Double vectors, dual-wield vectors. We know how good they are. And he is going to try to get the drop on one. He knows the flank's coming in. Bubble goes down. Can he at least get one before he'll fall? One, maybe a second is on the table. Reload in. Able to drop a second, maybe a third, but his teammates will back him up. Nostalgia able to crack on in here. And they only lose one player. They'll heal up. They'll take the loot. And they are now kill leaders.
That's so unfortunate. Those vectors do so much work and really well played in and around the bubble. Of course, you know, can't shoot out, can't shoot in, so he was dipping in and out, right, making it very, very difficult as they were trying to get inside to take him down. And picking up a couple players is absolutely solid, but just not able to convert with the rest of the team. Nostalgia, once again, attacking those buildings very, very well. It's something we saw from the Turkish teams yesterday that was very effective. Getting in at the right time, making sure to crunch as well. Really, really, really well played. Pikachu's gone down here. That's certainly not ideal for Nami. Seems they only have 3 players as well, Keith. I'm not sure what's happening there. But all the same, what can you do here? Miyuni is unfortunately got to sacrifice Pikachu. Unsure whether Nets is still watching the line or not. As the case may be, they weren't, so perhaps could have pulled off the revive, but it is what it is. Isolated here as well. Well away from San. Keep an eye on it. Our first fight coming in though. XN up against Nets. And they don't really have the trees and the good walls for cover. Certainly not what they'd be wanting. Carbon Aura. XN trying to get their way into a better spot here, but there's an awful lot of open area. They're also opting to take the low ground, which we have seen is incredibly weak. You know, when you're up against someone at the top of a hill, it's certainly not the best idea, but they're staying inside the zone here and going for the long flank around. But They will lose members for sure. Whether they all survive is another question here, Keith. I really do not know. Bandit's got a car. Maybe that will help him out for sure. He might survive, but whether the rest of the team do, just rolling his way through no man's land right now. Oh, God.
Yeah.
That is so awkward. What, that's through like 3 different teams spraying down at him, I think? That is madness, but got to do something desperate in that situation.
Yeah, he had to try. Rich Point electing. He didn't like what he saw over the top of that hill. Back on up. Line 2 got themselves in an awkward position. Volta Alliance, there's a tower position on Bermuda in the final zone. We've actually had one end tier way back when on the first day. And Volta Alliance are taking full advantage of raining fire down on Line X2. Worst team just biding their time. The unfortunate part for both these teams, Scrib, they kind of have to go up the hill. They have to move at some point. And the longer you wait, the more heals you're going to almost waste, aren't you?
Yeah, you run out of those walls as well. Yeah, it's just not happening. Bermuda and Snipers, man, it seems to be a very, very good mix. Plus the high ground, it is absolutely unstoppable. Worst team have been one of our more impressive squads so far. Certainly, as we've been joking, not living up to their namesake. Legend is attempting to get in behind them, try and pick up a few kills and be a real thorn in their side. See how it goes for him. I think he's going to go down to the blue here. He will indeed, but at the very least, he annoyed worst team and weakened them up, so maybe indeed that could work out for him. Flight's still alive for We Are Back.
Looking for a solid placing. For the win, coming in with some kills. Team Illuminati now getting into a fight with Volt Alliance, also with Nami knocking them out, I believe. Or at the very least, leaving them just down to 1 player. Yeah, just Sancho to try and fight his way out. 1 versus 3, it looks like, for Illuminati. Is Blue Wall going to go down, getting shot in the back as well? It's actually For the Win to drop him, who are now our new kill leaders. D-King trying to stay alive, trying to deal with For the Win. This is an absolute mess, as we were expecting at the end. 6 teams remaining. Look how small that circle is. It is not going to be 6 teams remaining in the next 30 seconds.
No, it won't be. For the Win, Cheater playing around the radio tower, waiting for a push. Gonna get great timing. He's gonna try to stick this revive. He did it. He gave it a go, but Cheater gonna make sure he secures that kill. And look at the King. He is hiding. He is biding his time. And I appreciate it. I respect it. And look at Pandita going up, going over. Volta Alliance making a move. They have been the power team for these last couple circles. Can they finally close out what feels like a deserving win? But For the Win, Cheater and Gavita getting out of nowhere and lighting them up. For the Win have done it out of nowhere, Scrib.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what we were expecting at the end. There were so many teams left, and that is the way that it goes. For the Win, though, getting the best game possible. They have that super structured strategy. They stick in those towers, particularly on Bermuda, right? That's exactly what they did on Friday as well. And this time it works out perfectly. The circles are magnificent.
It was such a great way to start our playoffs, and interesting for me, gents, is seeing that early positioning. So when all the teams dropped, them all trying to figure out where they thought that the circle might move to, finding a strategic position, claiming that land. Who would you say found the best spots for those later rotates?
I think, like I say, because of the circles, I think For the Win certainly. And then We Are Back. We're in a pretty decent position until they start getting mowed down. I want to say Nostalgia were doing okay, and then a very, very rough fight for them towards the end as well. But it seemed, honestly, Sam, like a lot of teams had solid positions, right? They were all 7-8 teams left alive going into what would be like the final static circle before it all just starts to move in towards the end, right? That very final circle. So I think they all played quite well in that sense. But again, another very, very timid mid game where not a lot of teams wanted to take the fight. So we're like 3 or 4 in the same kind of area, spotting each other, a few pot shots here and there, but no one really committing to any fights.
Yeah, I think for me, Volta Alliance played really well up to the last final push, right? They had good positioning. They're able to get that radio tower. They were push, right? They had good positioning. They're able to get that radio tower. They were but honestly, some of the best positioning throughout the entirety of the game from start to finish. They had a bit of a scrappy style. They weren't afraid to clear a building or two, and they weren't afraid to third party. I think overall they played a really solid game. They didn't really just play the circle well in the end here. As you can see, they're very spread. 2 in the building, 2 on the bottom of the hill, and they never really bothered to reposition or try to push up that hill until it was kind of too late.
For you, we've got the highlights on the screen now, but for both of you, what would you say was your biggest highlight in that game when you were casting?
Ooh. I think it's got to be Volta Alliance just locking down that hill for a little bit there. But the most impressive part was how long For the Win were able to sit in those towers and pick people off. I honestly thought they were going to get challenged and forced out at some point, but it never happened. But I'm going to give it to Volta Alliance to pick up a lot of those kills from the top of the hill. Again, we talk about positioning all the time, and it feels like Bermuda always ends in a positioning conversation, especially with so many teams alive and where the hill's positioned and how the circle's playing out. But to me, it's got to be Volta Alliance, I think. I think they played that last circle to near perfection. They got outgunned.
Yeah, look, Keith's got the serious answers. For me, it's got to be Bandit, that car play, man. Trying to get in into the final zone, the desperation, rolling through 3 different teams. Absolutely love to see that. If it had worked out, it would have been great. But of course, vehicles don't see a lot of play, and I think that kind of shows why. You run through a lot of teams, and they just don't have a lot of health, right? So you very, very quickly get stopped in your tracks and then have to get out of the car and fight everybody who now knows exactly where you are. But it was pretty funny to watch, so I'm going to go with that for sure.
Throughout the weekend, as we've been watching all of these playoffs and these qualifiers, one of the things that we always go back to is whether or not that aggressive pace works for a team. Should they be aggressive? Should they back off? There were 2 teams. They're up on your screens now, so it's probably going to answer. No, this is not the team I actually wanted to compare to. What I wanted to ask you is when it came to the aggressiveness, when you look at Unexpected versus For the Win, both of them had a very aggressive play style. They played the same when they went out hunting for kills. What was it that made same when they went out hunting for kills? What was it that made same when they went out hunting for kills? What was it that made same when they went out hunting for kills? What was it that made same when they went out hunting for kills? What was it that made same when they went out hunting for kills? What was it that made same when they went out hunting for kills? What was it that made same when they went out hunting for kills? What was it that made same when they went out hunting for kills? What was it that made same when they went out hunting for kills? What was it that made same when they went out hunting?
Is to be very, very selective with when they get aggressive, rather than objectively playing aggressive the whole time or objectively playing passive. They just bide their time, make sure that they're still full on meds, full on nades, full on decent weaponry and whatnot, and really just get the timing down.
To me, I think Unexpected got unexpectedly unlucky. I don't know if that's a right way to phrase it, but they were in a building and they just got outpushed. They got wiped. I think their positioning could have been better, or the way they handled that engagement. They kind of saw it coming the whole way. They heard the footsteps. They knew what was coming from below. And they kind of all sat around and waited for them to engage first. I think if someone took the initiative, maybe tried to flank, maybe had a bit more scouting for information, I think they would have set up that game a bit better.
It was an interesting one for me with Unexpected, purely just because we saw them early on in that game, 3 different engagements, and then you saw that head-to-head, 2 kills. It wasn't worth that many early fights, whereas For the Win, I think like Scriv said, positioned themselves well, waited for the end game, knowing that that was when they would get the best points difference and that would benefit them. So maybe that aggressive play needs to come in towards the end. However, I'm going to change focus completely now. We have hit one of our milestones, 3,000 viewers on the stream, so I'm dropping the code. I am aware that the other milestone was hit, but we got to keep that going. If you want that code, it's only going to come after the game, so keep watching, keep going. That 5K is within reach. That code may be on its way. What else is on its way? Well, a small break, and when we return, we're going to Purgatory.
and it just doesn't work out. That miscommunication does cost them a player in the end. Chris, though, in between a bit of a rock and a hard place. Oh my goodness, they are so close to one another right now. He needs to be so careful. Rambo's in here getting the information, but Chris out in the open does have a glue wall available. It will not save him. Team Illuminati lose an early player. Not ideal. We're still here with 12 teams, but a couple of them getting softened up early.
Yeah, surprise zone from Illuminati tried to push up and help out, right? We're both going to push outside, Chris. You take, like, we're going to put down covering fire. Maybe try to move out the other way. Seemingly just kind of let him do his own thing and end up being a demise. And who else? As soon as a tower appears on screen, if we're the win aren't in it, there's a problem. And here they are. They have found their comfort zone. They have found a tower that's honestly somewhat central. And there's even some natural cover and buildings around them they can play with. So they're at home. They're comfortable. Up to the north, Nami, unexpected. Finally getting into that loot zone. Nets off to the west alongside with Nostalgia. And all the way down in the south, we do have 3 teams still trying to figure out what's going on. And I think Volt Alliance, I don't know if they smell blood in the water, Scriv, but I have a feeling they're not leaving this island until they get a kill.
Yeah, I feel that as well. Bit of slowdown here after some early aggression in the landings. Nami, meanwhile, playing things very safe once again. If I'm not mistaken, I think they are only on 3 players today. Something technical must have happened on that end, which is a bit of a shame for them. Very, very close, as we mentioned at the top of the day, to making it into Pro League. 1 kill away, 1 or 2 kills away from doing that. So, yeah, I think they fancied their chances coming into this one. And sometimes life gets in the way. I think that's unfortunately the only way that we can put it. Meanwhile, Volt Alliance edge of the map here, playing super safe. Just sprinting about. Our first zone coming in, though. Hopefully we start to see some action. It's usually Purgatory where a lot of fights actually do go down in the mid-game. A lot more teams seem to be happy to take those battles, right? Bermuda tends to be more passive, more safe, more positionally based, as we are always saying. With the final few zones, comes down to who is the king of the hill. And I think everyone wants to try and get on top of said hill before they actually take any fights. Whereas Purgatory, a bit more flat, a bit more even, and a lot of open areas, as you can see. Beyond Brasilia, I feel like even the named zones, not that many buildings in play. So it does lead to a lot more fights.
Oh, well, Nami are taking their time a little bit, aren't they? They're still going a bit more north as the zone's closing in, perhaps looking for a vehicle, some sort of mode of transportation. While to the south, as I said, Volt Alliance not wanting to leave this island until they get a kill. I had a feeling. And they could get a chance to pick off somebody from Line X2. Certainly doable. It's not without of reach, especially considering there's a couple zip lines out, couple bridges, but I don't know, Scriv. I think Volt Alliance are hungry. They definitely want to make a name for themselves. All the while, Rambo caught out. Has to use a glue wall. Bubble as well. He's dropped, and he will be eliminated. Unexpected. They hit up that loot zone early. They're one of the only teams that kind of had no one else really close to them to contest them or make them worry. And now they're working their way back down and starting to pick people apart.
Yeah, looking really scary. Rambo going to be kicking himself. He gets caught off. In all honesty, I think tagged through the glue wall as well. Of course, some of those weapons, particularly the snipers, can get through it for a bit of damage. So, rough one for him. Team Illuminati, pretty weak now, all things considered. And they might not be out of the woods just yet. Volt Alliance also not too far away from them, and maybe going to cross pass here, depending on what Illuminati decide to do. It looks like a cross over the water. Nets are also just beside them, but thankfully engaged in another fight. So maybe going to sneak under the radar of Nets. Then they'll have to deal with Volt Alliance in a few moments' time. So certainly, this looks to be a rough game for Team Illuminati. UXP actually on top of that hill that we're getting taken down by Nets. No kills, I don't think. Doesn't look like it, so all good on that front. Now Nets taking some fire. So here we go. This is the thing, right? You get into a fight on this map. It seems like teams are much more confident to come in for a bit of a third party and try and mow you down. It's Nostalgia, of course, also on top of a hill. So this is really, when it comes to modern warfare, this is a pretty terrible spot to be in all honesty. Weapons up on one side, weapons up on the other side. Where do you go? As soon as you leave, there are two teams ready and waiting to just mow hellfire on you, honestly. This is a terrible, terrible spot for Nets.
Can they flip the rowboat and get out of there, Scrib? Is that an option? I'm not sure. I'm going to go with no. But if it was, that's probably what I would try. Rowing my boat out of there. We have a bush with legs, and it's moving. Nami, I mean, they are... This doesn't strike me like the Nami we saw yesterday, Scriv. They are playing extremely passive through and through. Way up here into the north, still continuously looting. I can tell you for a fact they're playing placement game. They are going for placement.
Yeah, I think so. That safer kind of play style. I mean, I think they feel that the kills are going to be much more evenly spread once again. Okay, looks like everyone's in for Nami, so that's good. That's good. I do believe in the first game they definitely only had 3 players, and then it looked like to be the same in this one. So, jubilation. Their super safe play actually might work out for them. I thought it was because they were kind of a man down and having to grit their teeth and deal with it and come up with something new, but playing safe, going for placements, and having everybody available. They were also a pretty decent fragging team yesterday, but they were also a team that played things relatively safe, right? Had a couple games where there was only one person staying alive, but staying alive for a while, and that is why they've ended up here.
Uh-oh.
Either way, another fight coming in. Yeah, this is not looking too good for Bandit. I think he's all by himself up there.
Well, if he can walk away with a couple, he downs a couple. Can he secure a couple kills on top of it? No. He will be dealt with. But he downed 2. You know what? That's a valiant effort. And you can see him really trying to at least trade 1 for 1, right? Get some sort of value, get some sort of points out of his life. Just miss missing out on the opportunity, and
Yeah, I certainly think so. The herd, as it were, needs to be thinned out a little bit here. Once again, we have all 12 teams, so actually higher than it was at this stage in the first game. I think there was about 10 teams at this point, which is not too foreign. That's generally what we tend to see. 9 to 10 teams coming into these tighter circles, but all 12 is absolute madness. I think very, very, very quickly they're going to get mowed down here for sure. This really is not looking good. Oh my goodness, Angel coming up behind Underground. Yeah, a little scared of the fact Blue Wall going up will have been spotted now because of that. Trying to take a fight to get out, but it does not go well. X2 really cannot afford to lose any more players, but having to go for that safe play, having to sacrifice Angel away, and just make their way out of there and hope that they can take a more advantageous fight, I suppose, but now only on 2 players. One of our weakest teams for sure coming into the final moment.
Oh, Nostalgia locking this building down ever since they cleared it out and took control of it for themselves. No one is coming close. The road, the hill, it is all theirs. Underground popping some shots into Volt Alliance, who are trying to hold their ground. Problems pushing up. He himself has to heal up a little bit, and the Line X2 legend, I think he's just going to mind his own business. In fact, he's just going to sit here, and he will let everybody fight. I think he's very content as to where he is right now.
Yeah, I think so too. Still does need to be careful. Jonah, meanwhile, on the other end of the bridge. Dev has got to be careful. I think so unaware. Going to hear him coming, though. Gets his weapon up first and actually manages to drop Jonah instantly. That's solid stuff. Legend going to go down, so it is all on to Dev for X2. Would have been nice for him to take one down with him, but not going to be the case. And now Dev looking to get an even stronger placement. But with these lone players going down, there's still 12 teams left alive. So this is absolutely mental, the fact that we've got all these teams. Okay, there we go. Spoke too soon. I believe it's Nami, actually, the first team to tap out. That's unfortunate for them. Playing the long con does not work out at all. Another fight breaking out here, though. 3 teams directly on top of each other. We've got Giamarco coming in with the car as well. This is not where you want to be. Not where you want to be. Thank God he's in that vehicle. Gets to just zoom out there, say hello, and get the hell out of Dodge. Because there's so many teams around there that could have just all focused in on him for a second and mowed him down. Very lucky that they did not do so.
Yeah.
Is he just going to ride around and try and stay alive?
Yeah. He had one of those moments like, honey, I'm home. I forgot milk. Never mind. I'm going right back out. Never mind. And it seems like everybody, these building fights have been just piling up. Volt Alliance going to make a move, and they're going to drop Nostalgia. Can Sonic live? Can he get a kill? Dropping all those blue walls, getting chased. He's able to turn on one, still relatively full HP. Nice shots in to punish Volt Alliance for the over-aggression, but he's lost his teammate. And all of a sudden, Volt Alliance are cleaning everybody up, and this is just absolute chaos. And there is no rhyme or reason or pattern to it. It is just bloodshed everywhere, Scrib.
I don't think it's going to stop either. Another 4 teams, technically speaking, with Diamarco being here. He's the only one left for his squad, but all the same. There's Ernad, our top damage of the game so far with 1,600. 8 kills worth of damage, of course, you know, not necessarily translating into exactly 8 kills. Either way, Violet's on that sniper, laying it down. Another few knockdowns coming in here for XN. Great little building for them, actually. They don't have to move. Ooh. Could be magic. Could be absolute magic if they play their cards right, but still an awful lot of teams left. 6 left with a few stragglers around the edge. Still have Giamarco left for Team Illuminati. Still have Dev left for Team Line X2. Giamarco, though, I think his position now known, and he really needs to push forward. This zone is doing a lot of damage. Blue wall's in play. He'll try and go for some fights to get some kills and whatnot, but needs to be careful he doesn't bite off more than he can chew, and well, that's exactly what happens. He gets spotted, that nade launcher comes in, and will indeed drop him. Meanwhile, worst team trying to fight their way in against XN, a great little positional flank coming through. They're also going to run into UTP. What is going on? It's all onto Prince. They've been overwhelmed on the worst team side of things, but still potential to get the revives off, first of all, which of course are doable through walls, and also try and get a higher placing. In comes Ernad, though, with certainly a thorn in the side with the close, quick scope. Worst team going to get wiped out as Ernad, the bully, has just destroyed them with that play.
Holy. Carbon still in for the win and unexpected. A noob tube in from Cheater, but it gets the job done, pushing forward. And it seems like unexpected will go down for the win now, starting their pinch. They have numbers, they have grenades of their own, and they are getting absolutely run over. And for the win will do it. They pick up the Booyah Scrib. Impressive again from start to finish. These guys are the real deal.
Yeah, looking really, really good. And I think perfecting that style that they had of playing things safe and making sure that, you know, they take the correct fights at the right time, and it really plays dividends once again, right? On Bermuda did the same. So for the win, really, really, really sort of getting their head above the crowd as one of the top teams today.
Before we get into the analytics and explain a bit about what you just saw, I know what you've been waiting for. I also know that in the chat, when we started these broadcasts on Friday, lots of people said it couldn't be done, but you did do it. We hit that 5,000 milestone, 5K on YouTube. Well done. I get to drop a code for you right now down below. The next one is that 10K. We hit 7K. We know we can do 10K. So make sure you're sharing the stream, telling everyone you know, because of course we've got all that sweet in-game loot. You've got the 5K, 10K. Let's do it. I know you've got this. Come on. Now let's talk about what For the Win's got, which is 2 booyahs, and I think could possibly guarantee themselves a spot in the Pro League. I can't see those 2 booyahs and the point difference that they're going to get there being contested in that final map, gents.
Yeah, I think the first map particularly, they picked up a fair amount of kills as well, which is always the difference maker. Those kill points relatively high, but yeah, For the Win looking very, very good. In that game, I think we talked about them a lot on Bermuda, you know, in their typical spot, looking good, nice rotation towards the end, and a nice bit of high ground. But in that game, super, super quiet from them. Right? Not really getting involved in any engagements, never really seemed to be under threat from these teams that were rotating. They weren't one of these teams that lost a player here, lost another one there, right? They were very, very quiet until the perfect moment. They come into strike and they snatch the Booyah away, it feels like, in a sense. You know, a team like XN, for example, or Unexpected, they were getting into a lot of fights and being very successful in doing so, and yet not able to get the victory in the end. So really, really well played from For the Win once again to strike at the right time.
Keith, I want to jump in there. I just wanted to actually change this up because what Scrib said there, where he mentioned that that For the Win was really quiet. They won't be only they are going to bring the heat and hopefully set this winter on fire. We're going to be back with that final map right after this.
So hard, this is my yard. I won't be giving up at the start. Seeing struggles like, oh my god, still I'm standing here.
Took my chances, play my cards. Now me and my team go far. Won't give up, I'd rather starve. Baby, hold on, hold on.
Fighting through the pressure now, I made it, won't stop. Hating is whatever, cause I made it to the top. When you got the pressure, now we see what you got. You hating is whatever, now we got this on live.
Yeah. Ain't no sexo fuera lit. Get it headshot, you can come live with it. En tu mente como una locura. Te pegan la bala like booyah. I live in your status so critical. Dada la chamba like glitter. Me meto en tu mente, lo quise. Quemando todo lo que existe.
Tô no jogo, então avisa lá. Pronto, preparado, eu vim pra ganhar. Deita os caras, eu vou amassar. Mostra pra eles como é que se faz. No Free Fire nós tá demais. O nível que nós tá, vão querer reportar. A bala vai cantar.
I'm on fire, baby, burn it, burn it. MVP like no one knows it, knows it. I'm too good for you, I'm too good for you. Take your mask. Me, baby, I'm a J, my nuts got I can take control, they won't. Man, days of the mess, but they, I'ma get y'all break, cause it's do it all. Shorty, you can't win, cause I'm too good and I'm on my grind. Oh, 샤베리 나를 걸어주고 또 신나, check it out.
Walk right to straight, you are regular. My money looks straight, you are regular.
I grind on way to my 2K when I yoko me, I get my bag.
Ain't no hair, no better, bro. I'm crucial, my competitor.
Você acalma, vamos tirar. Meu squad tá pronto pra rushar. Os inimigos não aguentam. Só a jada violenta. Então experimenta. Mas segura a sequência. Todo mundo com 40.
Feel the pressure, jump is coming, coming.
You better watch out.
I'm on fire, baby, burn it, burn it. MVP like no one knows it, knows it. I'm too good for you, I'm too good for you. Feel the pressure, jump is coming, coming. I'm on fire, baby, burn it, burn it. MVP like no one knows it, knows it. I'm too good for you, I'm too good for you. I'm too good for you, I'm too good for you.
Oh, it's hot in here, and it's not just the map, it's the final map. Who is going to the Pro League? Who is claiming the second spot? I think For the Win have it locked in, Scrib. But who is joining them? It's an open door, and look at this map. Could it be any more tempting to land center here?
Yeah, I think they're going for it as well. Couple teams in there. Oh, XN dipping out from it. That disappoints me. Wanted to see a true scrap at the beginning here for the strongest loot, of course. But not going to go for it. We do have a few teams landing next to each other in different spots. Command post under control for nets. Always a solid drop and a solid zone to have control of that compound for sure. If the circle works out for you later on, it is such a great overview that you get from there. Either way, early fights coming in here, of course, between Underground and between Nami. Also, Team Illuminati getting involved in the fray. There you go, the first blood for Nami. We'll see ISCG go down, though, and taken out completely. So, is it going to be worth it? They need to get the wipe. They need to get it quickly. And, well, easier said than done at this point. Bit of pre-fire from Money. He's got to get the reload off and then get out of the open as well. Quick revive while he gets time. Mender coming in on the zip line, though, needs to be careful. Decides against it as he drops back down, pops the bubble. This fight is all over the place right now. I believe it's Pikachu coming in from the side, coming in on that flank, doing a hell of a lot of damage. Will get taken down, though. Doesn't work out. It was a great idea, but not quite able to land the shots. And now, well, essentially left for dead, it looks like. few sprays here and there from Problem. Will eventually take him down. Nade going in, and that, I think, secures it. So what can Money and Sanchu get done here? Both relatively low. Sanchu going to get taken down. It's Angela getting aggressive. Going for another kill. Will indeed secure it. So all left on to Money. Does manage to get a couple. Okay. Here we go. I think it was just the one, picked up with a shotgun. But all the same, a few kills traded back. I think for Nami, though, they've got to survive. They need a high placing and some relatively good kills here as well. So Money's got to get out on top of this. Just gets the kill in before the glue wall drops into the one-on-one. It would be then. Whether he can get this done or not remains to be seen. Mender, does he want to stick around? I mean, Money is on a mission right now with these frags. And it does look like they're going to split up. So there you go. I mean, two teams, they land close to each other, Keith. They're left relatively weak. Well, I say relatively, they're left pretty weak in the first few moments of this third and final map.
Yeah, as weak as you can get, I suppose. I guess you could be 1 HP, no meds, 1 player remaining. But hey, semantics. And it looks like Illuminati, very comfortable, and they are going to meet up again, and it's going to be Underground to wipe out Nami. They are gone. I had a feeling they weren't going to leave this area without taking out each other. All the while, this is the past, with Illuminati able to pick up a couple kills. And it's already Nostalgia getting involved. For the wins in the kill feed, Nostalgia's tossing nades, Scrib, everything is popping off, and what a nade toss from Wines.
Yeah, that's absolutely massive, actually. If he gets this kill as well on the Thompson, would be solid. Coming close, closing the gap, but I think Lost had to get the reload off. That's a little unfortunate. So 2 kills at the very least. Ernad the only one left. Unexpected we're doing so well in the earlier games, but it looks like they're going to tap out early here, and another contender for the top spot may be out of the runnings now, thanks to Nostalgia, by the looks of things. 10 HP, not going to happen. Oh, and that is a massive team to be taking down early, Keith, honestly. Early, Keith, honestly. Unexpected. Consistent. Not super high, right? But they've been in the top 5, both maps.
Yeah.
Relatively good kills. But this one, tapping out early, and that's gonna cost them completely. That will, I think, take them out of the running, like I say.
Yeah, they needed a high place in top 3 with kills to even give themselves a shot. So yeah, I think that's unfortunately just going to be it. And you can kind of see the vibes of Kalahari is a little different than Bermuda and Purgatory. A lot more aggression. It feels like the good loot is in less spots, so more early fights. All the while, this is a replay of Tasher able to get a pick, but I'm pretty sure he just gets overwhelmed and taken care of in the end. For the win, back-to-back Booyah champs. I mean, if they get all 3 Booyahs, that is a staple of dominance.
Yes, I think so. Particularly after their performance on Friday, I think they had a game plan. It didn't work. Whether the other teams in Zone A are familiar with it or whether they just hadn't quite perfected it yet remains to be seen. Maybe if they make it through to Pro League, we'll be able to fill in that story, of course. But today, their game plan has been nothing short of perfection, to be honest. Once again in the towers. Absolutely loving these. We have seen many... Ooh! What's happened there, then? A little bit of Grand Theft Auto. I'm not really sure. A bit of a hit and run. Then did they get shot at? Now he's up in the tower. He's got back down. What's going on? What's happening?
He doesn't know. Does he know?
Dream is just hiding, and he's had enough. Wants to try and go for it, but needs to be very, very careful. Completely isolated, and now he's got the entire wrath of the team. Does manage to take down Dark, though. Will finish him off. Of course, the rest of For the Win dipping out, and he's the only one remaining. So, yeah, not going to work out very well. And I do believe he gets taken down. That'll be the end of For the Win, sorry. So that one kill may be coming in handy, maybe helping them out. They do place in the top 8, which, by the way, super quick game here, folks. What has happened? Voltex getting caught off guard by Line. Will drop the shield. Able to survive. both reloading off at the same time as they are just next to each other. Gabriel's gone down and hit the deck, but has been revived. Another crazy exchange here between these two teams. It is so very difficult to tell who's going to come out on top of these fights, honestly, Keith. It is once again, Kalahari delivering.
This map is just non-stop action, and I am all for it. What a great map to end on. As Volt Alliance, they need a absolute monstrous game. I would say minimum 5 kills and second or a booyah to really make a push. And to be fair, not a lot of these remaining teams have a chance to grab that second spot. Volt Alliance are, and then I think that's pretty much it.
Or another potential fight here in this building. Net's also not too far away from this action. But no one really taking the initiative to get aggressive. This is where, once again, you know, the difference in that utility usage. Some of these Turkish teams yesterday would just cob nades in, would just absolutely nade the hell out of that top floor. Just the off chance that you soften them up, right? Not necessarily taking them down. Looks like they're going to go for the take, though, Keith. They do need to be careful. I believe X2 are a man down. They are opting to just chill downstairs.
Jeez.
Bit of a gentleman's agreement here. You have upstairs, we have downstairs. We're just looking for shelter from the danger zone at the moment, lads. No fights here. We just don't want to get blown up, if that's okay. We'll be out of your hair in just a moment. Once the red zone is over and done with.
Yeah. Maybe. I have a feeling X2 might want to test it, and they're gonna try, but going in solo. Actually drops the bubble. Dev is gonna try to trade this one out, but look at the cover. You're coming through a doorway, you get flanked, and goodbye, Line X2. You're gone, but Nex is still here. They want to fight now. Momo met with a couple glue walls. How does he contest this one? Line is going to help out with a drop on Gabriel. Just when you think things were calm, just when you thought things were fine, Illuminati show up, and so do Nex.
Immediately down. Got revived, and immediately down from the same angle. Line being very, very annoying. Not able to finish off that kill, though. So certainly an awkward one. Volt Alliance trapped up here, but I'm not sure if they realize Nets are only down to 2 players. Momo goes flying in. Not going to work out. Team Illuminati, I think, was shooting them in the backside as well, so they had to make a move at some point. Absolutely mental. Volt Alliance, the titans right now in this here compound, in the top of this building, looking so very good. Looking to eliminate another team as well, Keith, and I think they might just be able to, at the very least, soften things up. Down goes Rambo. Jonah, the only one left. Top damage, apparently, in the game so far, but he's the only one left on his team, so that top damage stat doesn't give you any points, unfortunately. Looks good on the old highlight card, but may well cost them the amount of fights that they've been taking part in.
12 points already just from the kills alone for Team Illuminati. So if he can get top 3 placements, I'm no mathematician, but maybe. That's all I got for you, Script. I'll leave it with a maybe. And look, one full team coming in from the north. They're one of the only teams left with an entire roster. That is kind of terrifying. I'm not going to lie, Script. I would be nervous as Volt Alliance, the other one with a full lineup. And I think Jonah has a chance for another kill here. He's going to go for it. Runs at him. He is going to be able to absolutely mow him down. Underground are removed. Both those teams are playing for placements. And Team Illuminati will thank Jonah for that one.
Yeah, they're doing okay, though, actually. Up on 7 kills, which is 14 points. Right? So plus their placement at this point, which I believe would be 15 points in 4th. So we'll see. We'll see. They may get a chance to get even higher than that. So looking pretty good in that sense. And it might make all the difference if he can get a little higher and just stay safe while the big boys battle it out. Nostalgia versus XN right now. A lot of shots being landed by Kane, but no downs, no frags just yet. Volt Alliance as well coming in from the backside, so Nostalgia going to have to be careful. XN also running through the middle of no man's land, but somehow not getting sprayed down. Flying in towards the top of this building, though. I don't think they quite realize how very close they are to some of the enemies around the corner. They're able to join up with their teammates and apparently live to fight another day. Now, Volt Alliance also need to be careful playing in and around the shield, but as it goes down, yep, they've got a drop. They're also very, very split. Another building take coming in. It's something that some of these teams, particularly from Zone A, Zone B, have not been super strong at, right? We've seen some of the very, very, very top teams really, really, really clear buildings well. And some of these playoff teams, maybe that's something that they need to work on in isolation, and part of the reason as to why they're here. Where is that utility usage that we're so
I don't know.
praising of when it comes to these Turkish teams, right? That we saw yesterday.
Nowhere to be found. Shots coming in. Wayne looking out the back. Will land some damage. Second in damage currently. But he's lost Sonic. Sonic is down and needs to revive. And this means Carmenora do feel like they can go. Bandit. Gonna try to get some heals out on the roof. Gonna have to drop on down. Ken popping some shots in. Who's gonna get a kill? Cannon's gonna jump on in, and this is absolute madness. More glue walls on glue walls. No escape to be had. And Volt Alliance, honestly, I think they dodged a bullet with waiting.
Yeah, they have to move in though, dude. They've got to try and push forwards. And, well, it's a difficult one. These two players on that more frontal attack looking good. Gabriel trying to join them. There are 4 teams left, but 2 of those teams with only 1 player.
What circle is that?
Yeah, that's like half in the water, dude. That's rough. There's no cover like anywhere. I actually think being behind that, are they in a tower? Yeah, I think they're in a tower, or is that Gabriel in a tower? No, okay.
That's in.
So Volt Alliance in the tower. This is the spot. I think they might just be able to do it from here. To be honest, you've got to run down the hill at the very least, if not cross the water. Jonah as well is on the backside, being an absolute nuisance right now. Oh god, yeah, they don't really know where they're getting shot from. Such a good angle.
No. Yeah, he's trying to get some headshots, trying to get that damage. If he can get it down and secure it, it would be huge for Team Illuminati. He's going to have to move now because this zone is going to hurt. Healing on the run. Can he really make it to the embankment? Sandia from up top in the watchtower, popping shots, sniper shots included. He spots NTJ trying to move on in. Nostalgia really wanting these placement points. They're going to fall. Do Volt Alliance have a W in them? Or will they get held off? Look at the fire. All concentrated, not a chance to move. And this should do it. Volt Alliance will get a booyah. And is it enough to push them to second place? That is the one question I have on my mind, Sam.
Right now, we want to know if this is it. Can Volt Alliance claim their spot in the league, which is obviously what everyone was looking for. Let's get into this though, because they were on fire the whole way through. Volt Alliance looked spectacular. Would you be able to break down what it was that got them that final booyah?
Yeah, well, I mean, that final zone is just a gift for them, right? They were kind of struggling, having to push in with very, very little cover. Ah, damn, we're stuck in this tower. We talked
for Kalahari, I said, oh, For the Win's definitely got this. Do you think that early knockout on Kalahari could potentially affect their position? Maybe dropping to second? Do you think they could get knocked out of the top two? Do the maths, James. Do the math.
Okay, they were at 83. I think they got a couple kills, so I'm gonna say they're at least at 90. I think they should be okay. If they get knocked out, though, with 2 booyahs, that is going to be really upsetting, especially for a team that looked the best on Bermuda and Purgatory Drift.
Yeah, it's 100% score for the first spot, but I think they should be in it. Second. And it would, like you say, be absolute robbery. That first game is, for me, immaculately played, and then just certainly in the second one, like sneaking their way through and whatnot for sure, and snatching it away at the end. But still, there's credit for that kind of a play style as well. But yeah, it really does seem that Bermuda is a top class map from them. With that strategy, we'll see how it goes moving forwards, right? It may well become something that they are known for, and therefore it's counterable. But for today, it worked the best way. The circles, the timing from them to get aggressive. So yeah, it would be a real shame if they're actually getting knocked out because of a slightly weaker performance on Kalahari.
I put you both on the spot, and I don't know why, because the standings were available, but it's fun sometimes to see. And they did not lose that top spot. Look at that, not by a long shot. For the Win, with their 2 booyahs, they take a spot in the league. And Volt Alliance, they're in that second spot. They're claiming that second spot in the league.
I think for me, this is exactly what I expected, to be honest. I think Volt Alliance throughout the day have been that quietly kind of consistent top 4, top 3 placings in every game. Of course, taking the booyah in the last one definitely helps. But some of these other teams, Nostalgia, Worst Team, Team Illuminati, I think they were kind of more, sneaking in there with some of the chaos in the first game in the final zone. Then Team Illuminati having that 1 player left alive. Sure, they got some kills, but not really getting involved in the latter stages of the game. Worst Team, I think, kicked the day off very well, but not quite able to keep up to that higher level. And we did talk about consistency being important. You either need to get a win with a lot of kills to really solidify yourself, or you need to be like Volt Alliance, nice and consistent with your placings, so that when you do eventually, come to a spot where you get a win, it's enough to kick you up into that second spot. Few disappointments here. Nami, for me, we talked about them coming into the day 1 kill away in the Turkish qualifiers from getting into Pro League. And then they come into today. Sure, I think a technical issue here and there, but they just seem to not really be with it. Playing very safe, very far out when it comes to the looting and whatnot, sticking in the blue for a little while. But then once they came in, first fight they would take, disastrous. So yeah, a bit of a shame to see them only pick up the 16 points.
This is really interesting, though. For the Win and Volt Alliance, both of those teams from Zone A, we saw them play on Friday afternoon. So Zone A, all the countries there are going to be impressed. Both of them, they finished 3rd and 4th, and now they're through to the league. We do actually have an interview. So it turns out Leppy from For the Win is with us. Leppy, congratulations on your win. Were you expecting this? Was this the game plan? Did you know you were going to get into the league?
Yes, we trained a lot these days. And yesterday there was the Zone B final and the Turkey final. And we analyzed all the teams to see where they went from the plane, the calls, the saves, and everything. And we just studied it all. We went with the mindset that we were going to win.
And you did win. Congratulations again. How long best Free Fire teams in Europe. So no surprise then that they finished in that top spot.
Yeah, I'm not surprised in the slightest. It seems like that region is kind of one of the best, and clearly they're learning from the best. They seem to have a great mindset, shouting out the fans. They played immaculate. That 2-2 kind of combo, the way they played off each other. I wouldn't consider them a sleeper pick. I would consider them up there in probably top 4, top 5, and I can't wait to kick it off because I just want to see more of it at this point.
So do I, and we will get to see more of it because we're now moving into the Pro League. Let's take a look. Over the last 3 days, we have had Zone A, Zone B, and Turkey action, as well as these playoffs. Let's look at those final teams, of course, that are going to be making it through to the Pro League. Those final standings on your screen right now. They are going to be joining some of the best teams in Europe, those teams that finished in the top 12 in the Premier League. They all got their invites, and this is going to be the big one. Gents, the team to watch for you, from what we've seen over the last 3 days, which is the team that you're going to be keeping your eye on as we move into the league?
I want to say, I think 57A for me, looking really, really good from the Turkish zone. Some of the ways that they took buildings and whatnot was just immaculate. And I think very, very worrying for some of the other teams. Because it is for me, I have mentioned it, right? It is for me one of the things we saw throughout the
İlk 2'de net bir şekilde olacağız dediler. Çünkü zaten ilk 2 haritada da For the Win Esports bence oyunu iyi bir şekilde okudu. Yani hiçbir takım bizi geçebilecek puanlara sahip olmayacak. Biz skorları toplayalım. Zaten ölsek de bir şey fark etmez diye düşündüler.
Evet, 3 harita bu
Baktığımızda da
şekildeydi. Bermuda For the Win tarafından kazanıldı aynı şekilde. Yine Purgatory dediğimiz Araf da aynı şekilde. Volt Alliance'da çok baskın bir oyun ortaya koyarak Kalahari'yi kazandı. Portekizliler güle oynaya lige adını yazdırmış oldu. Onur, şöyle sanırım günün sonuna geldik. Keyifli bir gündü, keyifli bir hafta sonu.
Evet.
Zaten biliyorsun Şubat ayı itibariyle Garena Free Fire Avrupa Pro League sezon 2 kaldığı yerden devam ediyor olacak. Elemeler çok keyifliydi. Seninle birlikte anlatım çok keyifliydi. Ağzına sağlık, çok teşekkür ederim.
Yani ben de çok teşekkür ederim Berke gerçekten ve yani 3 günlük süreç bir anda tamamlandı. Ben nasıl geçtiğini anlamadım bile. Gerçekten çok iyiydi. Takımlar çok güçlü ve çok iyi kondisyona sahip olduklarını söyleyebilirim yani mental açıdan. Bence geliştireceklerini düşünüyorum Berke. Sen ne düşünüyorsun?
Aynı şekilde. Kesinlikle öyle. Yani baktığımız zaman mental açıdan iyi oynayan takımlar var. Tecrübe edinen birçok takımımız oldu. Tecrübe edinmesi hepimiz için çok önemli takımların. Ve yavaştan günün sonuna geldik. İzlediğiniz için çok teşekkürler. Bugün yine bir çekiliş kura yayınımız olacak. Onunla alakalı bilgileri yine bu kanaldan takip edersiniz. Şimdilik hoşça kalın. Kendinize iyi bakın.